Good afternoon. Welcome to your weekly current affairs program where we dissect crucial national issues. It is 60 Minutes Nigeria. My name is Ewosa Agbonlao. On today's program, we'll be looking at a recent development that has to do with the appeal court and INEC as legal political parties. Political parties, INEC has been informed, has been told that they do not have such powers to deregister political parties. The INEC did it in good faith, according to the statement emanating from INEC itself. But we understand that INEC will approach the Supreme Court on that judgment. But in the interim, some of these political parties are saying they ought to be part of the political process, the governorship election in Edo State, the governorship election in Ondo State. Don't forget that the names have been published and there are rules, but they are saying there's need for postponement. Do we really need to postpone the Edo elections? I start with a very, very special guest with me today. We have two very distinguished personalities in the studio. I have a legal practitioner who is also a clergyman, Jim Osagede. Nice to have you in the studio today.
Thank you very much.
I also have with us a very, very respected man of God and also a social critic, an analyst. I'm talking about Bishop Fred Agedo. Nice to have you in the studio today.
God bless you. Thank you so much.
Okay, but let's start with the legal practitioner who has made his name in the legal field, not only in Edo State, but in Nigeria, Jim Osagede. Once again, nice to have you on the program.
Thank you very much.
So what's your take on this latest development?
Well, the Constitution is there to guide everybody.
Okay.
And the Electoral Act,
yes,
as amended, is also there to guide everybody.
Okay.
And above all, you know, when you have disputes,
yes,
you know, in a civilized society like ours, I pray that we'll keep entrenching the rule of law.
Okay.
So you take your disputes to the court. No matter how bad or good your matter is,
okay,
the court must have something to say. And now the court has spoken.
Yes.
That these parties were not properly treated, that they ought not to have been deregistered.
Okay.
Which means they have to return to the status quo. Returning to the status quo means that they are to be regarded as registered political parties. But beyond that, the Electoral Act and the annual regulation stipulates special time for carrying out certain activities on the ladder that leads up to the election.
Okay.
But if you look at it critically, the political parties that INEC said, you know, did not do well the last elections, that was the primary reason for the registering them.
Yes.
Now the court says that that was wrong. So if that was wrong, are you going to disenfranchise them?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yes. Are you going to disenfranchise them?
Okay.
Are you going to say that you will not obey, you know, the decision of the court?
Okay.
Though it's appeal court, they have to move upstairs. You know, they have to go to the Supreme Court. But if you look at it very critically, INEC still have some time. Election is September 19. I think it's even to the disadvantage of the people, of the parties that have been that were registered, that the court have reinstated. And they can ask them to do a quick primaries and abridge whatever they want to do and put them on the ballot, because you have to obey the decision of the court. That is very sacrosanct. Okay. So you cannot, you know, administratively circumvent what the court has said. Even though we know very well, there's no guessing about that fact, that all these parties that we are talking about, with due respect to them, they are just like nominal parties. They are neither there nor here. And you know, looking at their you know, performance in the last election, I believe that, you know, what happened in the last election is going to happen also, in the sense that towards the tail of, you know, the electoral campaign that leads to the election itself, you see many of them becoming aligned with prominent political parties. I think that is all that they are.
But don't you think the young shall grow? These parties may start small and later they will grow and become very dominant parties.
No, there's no doubt about that. The young shall grow. That is why they went to court.
Yes.
And court say, we allow you to grow. So INEC cannot say they will stagnate their growth because they have started a process.
Okay.
The best that, you know, that I recommend for INEC in this sense is that instead of giving 21 days for this, 7 days for that, 30 days for notice, you can abridge the time. I say, okay, now court says you can contest. Now you run your primaries, let us have your candidates and we put it on the ballot. Even though it has cost implication for INEC also.
Okay.
I don't know if they have already printed their ballot papers. If they have already done that, then they have to go back to the press.
Okay.
But I don't think there's anything wrong. Instead of having one long ballot paper that you can almost use you can almost use as a wrapper, they can do a supplementary. Instead of giving one voter one card, you can give another card that contains the new ones that have just come in through the court. And then let them come to the ballot box, so that it will not result to another legal.
There's a question I'm going to ask you later, but let's get the thoughts of Bishop Fred Agedo on this issue.
You know, thank you, viewers. Yes. I want to say this first of all, that he who knows the truth that refuses to say it to him is a sin. So I always come in this angle of what is God saying about all this.
Yeah.
We are all aware that we actually have just 2 political parties in Nigeria. We are all aware. That's the fact.
You are talking about dominant parties.
Dominant party.
We have guys doing well in the Eastern part.
Let's say 3 political parties.
The other parties doing well.
Yeah. God will help them to do well.
Okay.
God will help them to do well.
Yes.
We know. But who is to be blamed at a time like this? That by Nigerian constitution or by what the INEC gave, they gave them certificate of registration. They registered them before.
Yes.
Now, why are you worried that they are not functioning the way it ought to be? Why are you worried that there are shortcomings? If there are shortcomings, there should be an administrative talk. You talk in the air house than coming out to tell them that they cannot. Some of them are using it like this at the tail end of everything, coming together to say we endorse. It's just business. We all know what is happening, that 2 or 3 major or 4 major political parties is in Nigeria. The other one are just is for show, and some of them want to make name out of this, which does not really make sense.
Okay, no matter your perception, Fred Agedo, no matter your perception, which you have expressed.
Yes.
Now, don't you think they have a right to participate?
They have every right, and that's what the court has just done.
So,
which means the court is right, and the political party that we are actually deregistered, they are so right. Okay. So go to Supreme Court, they are going to get it right. So INEC should do something about it.
Okay. So let's get the thoughts of legal practitioner again. Now, we don't know the exact status of the situation now. Now that INEC intends to approach the Supreme Court, are they going to give a stay of order?
No, INEC have not really given the indication that they want to go to the Supreme Court.
No.
Because at yesterday, INEC is saying that they don't have provision for these new parties that have been, reinstated. They said they are going to go ahead with Edo and Ondo State governorship election without these parties. That's what INEC have said. I would have expected that INEC probably,
make a provision.
ask for. They have not asked for a stay of execution. If you don't ask for a stay of execution, you have to execute the order. So if INEC does not ask for a stay of execution, which is not even automatic, the court have to grant it. Okay. If the court does not allow the stay of execution, then you have to obey the order of the court. It's not possible for the state mechanism to reduce the number of parties that you have in the society. It is the society itself, is the metamorphosis that will start from a stage, from a stage, and before the process is completed, there will be independent segregation by themselves. Okay. All these parties that you are talking about that are not able to win even a councillorship election, they will fizzle out. So it takes time for you to go up the pillar. Up the pyramid, and then you don't have a few parties on top. But originally, they will start, at the base. So as they are going up, there will be segregation, and those who cannot survive, they will fall by the wayside.
But some Nigerians believe that too many political parties seem not to be right for the country.
I believe very strongly that the reason why you have all these plethora of political parties that are not making impact is because there is something I feel very, very strongly that we did not get right in the Constitution. Even though during the process of attempting to amend the Constitution, that issue came up, and all these dominant parties and politicians, they killed it. Because we don't have provision for independent candidacy. If you have provision for an independent candidate, then you can go on. You know, I can come up, or you can come up without being in any party. You have a beautiful manifesto, talk to the people, you know, you be put on the electoral box, I mean, on the ballot, and then you can win. So I believe that because we don't have independent candidacy, that is why all those, you know, people probably don't want to belong to it. They are forming their political parties.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. Now, Bishop, do you think, let's assume, now that some of these political parties, in their own opinion, the election should be shifted, should be postponed. Do you think it's good for our democracy if, for instance, undo election shifted? Do you think it's good for our democracy?
It will really create a lot of problems within the political circle.
Yeah.
So there is just no reason for postponement.
Okay.
Now that this case is coming at the late hour,
yes,
they should just allow Edo and Ondo to go. So let them drag their case in court. If INEC is not appealing, it's not going to Supreme Court, then they should do something about it.
Yeah, but there are some reports that indicate that they might go to the courts.
If they do, then we can talk about it. If they don't, let it go like that. There is just no reason for postponement. Postponement in Edo election or Ondo will create a lot of problem in Nigeria. Postpone it to when the court is over. Postpone it to when the governor tenure is over. So it's going to create a lot of problems. So it should just go like that. It's a wrong calculation for the INEC. It's a wrong calculation for what they have done. This is a thing they would have done maybe since last 2-3 years. Because they gave the permission for this registration. And every other thing, they were able to meet the requirement by the INEC. So at the end, you are saying they cannot, well, they are spending their money, but unfortunately, some of us who are not in the, what they call it,
political party,
within the political party, yes, we don't know what they gain, because personally, nobody will invest his money in this when he's not waiting for a return. So when you endorse somebody that is popular and your party just go along with that, you know what comes out of it. So it has turned to business in Nigeria for 90-something political party in one nation. Is Nigeria ripe enough for that? To me, they knew where they were going from the very beginning.
Okay. Now, Barrister Jim, so you think the process should go on, the electionary process should go on in Edo, in Ondo? You think so?
Well, you know, if you look at the constitutional crisis that may arise if the election is postponed, I am for excuse me, the election to take place.
Okay, so the process should go on.
Yeah, a lot of money has been expended. I think right now they are recruiting ad hoc staff, political parties. You know, they are campaigning, mobilizing their supporters and the rest of them. So if you truncate that arrangement, you know, apart from the crisis it will create in the constitution, it's going to have a backlash on the people. They become, you know, there will be voter apathy when you come again. But if you look at it from the legal viewpoint, INEC should find a way to accommodate these parties that the court says are qualified, you know, to run for the election. That is, I think that is the only way INEC can assuage, you know, the system. Give them a short time to present their candidate, and then you put them on the ballot. You can put supplementary ballot, even though they are not going to make any impact. But the law is not so concerned about the impact they will make. The law is concerned about being fair to them. That is the issue.
I think we even read on the print media that about 35 political parties that were deregistered, that we are talking about now, have even adopted one other political party. So what are we talking about? They will definitely adopt another person. So it's either APC, PDP, or AFGA. Those are the three major. So we, like person like me, I was actually waiting for Labour Party to come on board. And let's see how it goes. But we know they have already collapsed their system with already existing and the two major.
No, you are talking about some political parties.
Yes, some political party has already done that. So what's the essence of going to court and
well, I think personally, I'm not bothered about if they were aligned with the existing political parties, which is a necessity because they don't have the clout to run an independent election. But the point that is so important legally is that the court has given an order. Is INEC going to circumvent the order? INEC should find a way to accommodate them, because otherwise you are setting the stage for further litigation, which may backlash on.
Now let's take a deviation from this issue of clamor for postponement and otherwise. Looking at the electionary process in Edo, Ondo, are you comfortable? Are things moving on the way it should be, or you have advice for the electorate, for the voter? Let's start with Bishop Fred Ageda.
Thank you very much. I will, you know, when it comes to me talking about especially Edo, I'm not too close to Ondo.
Okay.
When you are talking about Edo election,
Yes.
I've always been on this studio to always give my counsel. But blessed are those who have ears to hear and keep it.
Okay.
If we go back to the basis of what we are seeing and all the threat and whatever is happening that is making us to have a kind of fear, people like us who are already signed our death warrant before Christ, we are not afraid of those threats. We know, we have seen it in a vision that is going to be very bloody in Edo, but notwithstanding, we have prayed that God will arrest whatever would have come up.
Oh,
but now,
okay, now that vision, you know, other people may not have seen the vision.
Yes, yes.
But I'm glad you have said that you have prayed as a man of God that there should be peace
Yes.
in Edo. This election should be peaceful. That's what you're talking about.
Yes.
Okay.
So we have prayed about that, and we are still praying until the election is over.
Okay.
And even when the election is over, we will still continue to pray. Because the Bible says, blessed are they that make peace, they shall be called the children of God.
Okay.
So, but now let us see what is bringing this threat. It actually started since 12 years ago. People will not want to hear, because we easily forget where we are coming from. And where we are coming from is what gives birth to where we are today.
Yes.
And today we give birth to tomorrow.
Yeah, right. But before you go to that,
Yes.
what advice do you have for voters, the youths? Because most of these violence are actually perpetrated by the youth.
Yes.
And you're a man of God that controls so many persons, so
Yes.
many youths.
Yes.
What's your advice to the electorate, to the voter, to the Edo people?
My advice to the youth
Yes.
is stop violence.
Okay.
1, 2, the people you are trying to fight for, their children are not here. Those violence equipments, gun or whatever sword that you are holding, remember what Jesus said in the Bible, they that kill by sword, they will die by sword. Now, those things you are holding are the children of the people you are trying to put in power, in seat of power. Are their children a part of what you are doing? Are they in the street? Are they carrying weapons? So if you not see that their children are not with you, why do you want to stake your life for death? Why do you want your blood to be split on the street?
We remember former President Jonathan said his blood is not worthy. Yes.
So that is just a common counsel if they will hear. But notwithstanding, I smell blood in the city of Benin. Assassinations and different things. You may look at it as rumors, but I am talking prophetically.
Yeah, but
that
the
we really need to pray about.
security agencies, yes. I'm happy as a man of God. You have already assured the people that you are praying for peace, for a violent-free election.
Yes, free and fair election.
Free and fair. That's what we are all clamoring for.
Yes.
And you have also advised the people. Now, looking at the youths, some persons believe that the youth need to be advised on what to do. Let's get the thought of
you know, the situation looks so volatile, but I think the electorate should not be scared.
Okay.
You know, taking a cue from Bishop,
Yes.
I also want to refer to the Bible. I believe that what happened in 2 Chronicles chapter 20,
Okay.
where King Jehoshaphat was the king of Judah,
Okay.
is going to happen to the troubleshooters. What happened there? 3 nations, they gang up against Judah. On the day of the battle, they use their weapons against themselves.
Against themselves,
You know? So if you are planning evil, when you point one finger at somebody,
The
four
other
points at
fingers
you.
are coming back.
I believe that, you know, the electorate is enlightened enough right now. Everybody on the street, apart from the pockets of skirmishes that you are having, nobody is supporting all this threat of violence. We know those who are perpetrating the violence. The body language is there. You know, that is not what will give you victory. What will give you victory, you know, depends on what the electorate wants. So I want the people who are, you know, are warming up to, you know, commit atrocity during election. The laws are there. The Electoral Act is there.
Yeah.
You know, we have the criminal code. Let the law enforcement officers, then let them be apolitical. They should not support anybody.
the CP of Edo State has already said that.
Yeah, thank God. Well,
That they are neutral.
yeah,
Anyway, continue with what you are saying.
the the CP, Mr. Kokuma, I don't want to talk about that because you see what happened recently in the House of Assembly.
No, let's not go to that. Okay. But just talk about your advice.
Now, let's assume, you know, that what the police is saying is what they will do. Is what they will do. Yes. On the day of election, somebody is committing a crime, they tell you as the police, you should be bold and brave enough to arrest the person.
That's the right thing.
You understand? So the officers who are going to be in charge of security, they should have eagle eyes.
Okay.
They should not support anybody. Okay. Because anybody who supports violence and try to ensure that somebody who is unwanted by the electorate is to be installed, that person is actually undoing himself. Because at the end of the day, when you get back home, no matter how much bribe you have taken, so to say, you are back to the system. You are back to no light, you are back to no water, you are back to bad roads, you are back to multiple tickets or whatever, So if you do your little bit, and I do my little bit, put them together, it will mold the society. So any law enforcement officer who thinks that because of he has an AK-47 or a pistol in the holster, he can do whatever he likes, he's going to the same market and he's going to be exposed to the same vagaries of the society. If not when he's in office, when he retires, he's coming back to the community. So everybody should do the right thing.
Thank you. Yes, still on enlightening the voters. Bishop Fred Aguilar.
Yes, very, very simple. And I pray that people will understand why I'm always coming from the angle of trying to remember yesterday. 8 years ago, we experienced a spiritual political atmosphere in Edo State that many people did not observe when bats take over Benin City. 4 years ago, we experienced where politicians start eating cooked corn on the street. Now this year, we now see politicians again eating roasted corn. And we know what roasted corn means. This is spiritual matter.
No, outside that, our people don't understand spiritual matter. No. To the lecturer, no. Just advise.
This is parable.
Just advise.
Please be careful.
Okay.
Be careful of bats. System, I said political atmosphere taken over by bats, and I talked about cooked corn 4 years ago, and I talked about roasted corn this year. So you just need to be careful. Use your tongue to count your teeth. Edo State is in danger. We all know when sacrifices were to be made those days, you use roasted corn. Yeah, those things. Bishop and some of us.
That was burnt corn.
Burnt corn. No, it's roasted. Whether burnt or roasted. Bishop, it's a sign of war. It's a sign of trouble. Bishop, please. Let's just get it this way. Because now
you know the people are watching. I want you to advise them. Because what we are talking about now.
Okay, define
you have seen spiritual things. And you have been praying about it. Now advise them.
Coming on physical. Yes. My dear, if I go to market and I buy wrong goods, I that bought it ought to complain. Not you who sold it.
Yes.
Coming to me to say, I am sorry I buy a wrong goods. Be wise. Edo people, be wise.
Now, Bishop,
be careful.
Bishop, let me quickly ask you this again. Now, some persons believe that voters are induced, cash inducement.
Yes.
You are a man of God.
Edo voters are not induced.
What's your advice to the voters on that? Should they also accept cash inducement?
Edo voters are never induced by money.
But we get reports of that.
But listen, it's a wrong report. Edo voters are always hypnotized by chance.
Well, we don't know that.
Yes, that's why
we don't know that.
No, that's why you are
those who collect money, what's your advice to them?
Oh, very wrong. They are selling their destiny.
Okay.
They are selling. You are just selling your destiny to peanut. Some of us don't take money. Okay. Some of us look at the spiritual angle. Where will this matter end? How did we even get to this point?
So these voters now,
yes,
you are telling them if people come to induce them with money, they should
don't take.
That's what they want to hear.
Yes, because don't take. Just stay on your own and vote your conscience.
Okay.
I know who I'm going to vote for.
Yes.
And it's my conscience. As I know whoever I vote for is the one I also tell my family. My wife may refuse to agree with me.
Okay.
And say this is the reason why I'm doing it. But I'm saying what is happening in Edo State. there are a lot of diabolic armies.
Okay, so cause for
God.
sober reflection.
Yes, call for
and
sober
people should not
reflection
sell their
and prayer.
destinies. Thank
Yes.
you. Closing remarks.
Well, to close, I would like to quote Niccolo Machiavelli.
Okay.
As far back as 16th century.
Yes.
In his book, The Prince, he talks about 2 ways to go to election. He said one is through peace, the other one is through violence. He said, but the wise people, they want to go peacefully. That is my advice for the people.
Yeah.
Go peacefully, so that you will be part of history that people want to reckon with. Don't join those who are committing atrocities, no violence. Even though, sometimes in a society, for instance, you can make a law that is not possible to obey, then you have to show disobedience. So in that respect, I would not say the people will not collect money during election. The best I can say is that even you collect the money, sometimes you are collecting the money, they are giving the money under duress. You can collect the money, but vote your conscience. Don't let anybody know whom you are voting for. Very important on election day.
Thank you. Your party was, Bishop, because we have an educational program, so your party was.
My party word is Edo State must be ruled by righteousness.
Okay.
Let the righteous rule, vote your conscience, and be sure that God is involved in your heart, not just a peanut given to you. Don't be bought over. God is seeing you from a distance. God bless you.
So the candidates have presented themselves.
Yes.
So you assess
You
them.
make a choice.
And make a choice.
Thank you.
Whether you want to go back, you want to go forward.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, our viewer out there, I hope you've enjoyed this week's edition of the program. But time is not our friend on the program. Because of COVID-19, so many people are at home, and some children are still at home except the exit classes. So we have an educational program immediately after 60 Minutes Nigeria, so that you can be educated in your homes. I've had very distinguished personalities. Bishop Fred Agedo has made his very remarkable comments. Thank you very much.
God bless you.
Of course, Barrister Pastor Jean Osagede has also made his very wonderful contribution to this program. Thank you very much. We hope to have you again.
Thank you very much.
Because it's a continuous enlightening program. The people need to know that this election must be free and fair. No violence. On that note, thanks for being a part. Do have a wonderful weekend ahead. Bye-bye.